Joining us now is California Secretary of State Shirley Weber. Secretary Weber, thank you so much for making time for us.
Thanks for including us in the conversation.
Secretary Weber, Assemblyman Carl DeMaio is competent. He has the signatures for his voter ID initiative to qualify for the ballot. What's your reaction to that?
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's what the initiative process is all about, to give Californians an opportunity to participate in the process. I assume he probably tried the other method in terms of, as a legislator, to author bills himself. And if he were not successful, then this is a way to do it. So he has a right to do it. We welcome him into that process, and we will give him the fairness that his initiative deserves.
He pointed to comments that you've made in the past about voter ID, and I'm just quoting him here. He said, he pointed to how you're already doing this work, but that there are so many requirements in a proposal like his that it's going to cost you more money. He said, quote, "which is the lie?"
I'm trying to figure out where he said his proposal was going to cost him more money, but that is not uncommon for people to make those allegations that are there and that are not true. So I'm not sure what he means by it's going to cost him more money. It may cost the people of California more time and create less opportunity for them. But that has never been the factor with regards to voter ID. It's not an issue about money. In fact, we don't make money the major issue in elections because when we sometimes have to do extra things that happen because we want to make sure that everyone's enfranchised, that they have the opportunity to vote, and we're not cutting corners and doing cheap stuff. And so when he's talking about money, maybe that's him. Someone may have told him that his would cost more money, but that has never been a major factor in the Secretary of State's office, that things have to be cheap, that we try to make sure that our stuff is correct, that it's accurate. And when it's not, we change it. We did that and we notified the press with Initiative Prop 50 that there was an error. We wanted to make sure every California understood what was going on. It was a typographical error, and we made that correction. We didn't do it on the cheap. We did it on the right.
And I mean, just with this initiative broadly, though, regardless of whatever the logistics end up being, you and other Democratic leaders have noted this is not something that you support. When Democratic leaders don't like an initiative that's landed on the ballot in the past, sometimes they have gone to the courts to get it off the ballot. I mean, is that something that you would potentially advocate for?
That is something the legislature would have to do, not us. If the initiative is valid in terms of the number of signatures and so forth and so on, my responsibility is to put it on the ballot. If the legislature decides that there's some illegal aspect of it that's there, then they will probably go there and argue it. But most of the time, the initiatives do end up on the ballot. Sometimes they negotiate in a way the legislature does in terms of the person who's put it together. But that's not our job to be able to do that. It's Mr. DeMaio's right to have an initiative put on the ballot, providing it meets all the specifications. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that it's done right, that people understand what the initiative is being asked, and to push it and to basically include it on the ballot. Now, that doesn't mean others won't do things to block it, because they have a right to do that as well. And even when the Republicans win or lose an initiative, they go to court sometimes to block it, as they did recently with Prop 50. So, this is all a part of the process, and we're not here to deny him the process, as he probably would like to say we are. We're not. When we get his initiative in and we get the count done, if it meets the specifications, it will be on the ballot.
Lawmakers could also come up with a counter or competing measure. You mentioned other ways that they could try to fight it. That competing measure could be placed on the ballot within the next couple of months if they decide to come up with one. It looks like your daughter, State Senator Akilah Weber, is carrying a spot bill right now related to voter ID. It really doesn't have any other text in there. Do you know what that's for?
You'd have to talk to her, but I don't think that initiative that ballot is going forward. But you'd have to talk to her about the specifics. I try not to mix what she's doing with what I'm doing. So you'd have to talk to the senator to see what she's authoring. But I don't think that bill is basically moving forward. It's been there a while. I don't think it's going to move forward. But you'd have to talk to her. But in addition to that, that's the right of others also. If the legislature decides that it's going to author a bill to counter this one or one that's better than this one, that they think makes more sense to be implemented, then that's their right to do so. And if they do that, it'll be on the ballot as well. So we're not here to advantage the Republicans or to disadvantage the Democrats one way or the other. Nor will I be bullied into basically saying I must do this to demonstrate to somebody that I'm going to be equally fair to them versus somebody else. We're going to be fair no matter what, and I'm not going to alter what we would normally do just to appease somebody so they can say, "Oh well, see, we're going to make them do this because she wants to make a good showing." I'm always going to make a good showing, and we're always going to make a good showing in the Secretary of State's office. So I will not be that influenced by what Mr. DeMaio says or someone else says about what they think is happening. I know he's alleged that we said that we don't have any fraud and deception in California of any great number. It's not California said it. The courts have said it. The researchers have said it. The conservative researchers, the Brennan Center and others have said there is no major fraud or deception in California in terms of people voting who are not qualified to vote. All of those things are said and put out there, and they claim that they've been saying it forever, and yet they have yet to produce any documentation of any significance that impacts the 23 million voters in California.
Outside of Assemblyman DeMaio, though, I mean, other states have voter ID. Polling does show that most Americans support it. I mean, are you concerned at all about how a fight against this could end up being unpopular?
Well, we do have voter ID. That's the thing that's always interesting to me. It's not, people make it seem like that in California, you kind of walk out of somewhere, go register to vote. No one asks you your name, your ID, want to see your driver's license, your birth certificate, any of those things. All of those things are required and asked of in California. So it's not like we don't know who's voting. We do. And so it's always amazing to me that when they say voter ID, that there's, and naturally, if you say that just in the absence of anything else, it sounds good that, yes, we need voter ID. We want voter ID. We should know who's voting in California, and we do. So when people make that statement, you almost have to defend it as if you're saying, oh, no, we don't do voter ID, but we do. Now, and we do it in the ways in which it's specified, and we know who's basically voting. And if we had people who we didn't know were voting, didn't have ID, I think at some point, those folks who consistently say the same thing over and over would come forward with the information, and they have yet to do that. So many of the ideas and suggestions that are printed out there are done, and maybe they may want more of this and more of that, but bottom line is we know who's voting in California, and when we register individuals in California, they have to have the proper ID, and if they don't have it with them at that moment, they cannot vote when they get ready to go into the polling place in their first experience. They will not be able to vote.
Secretary Weber, we really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Take care.
Take care.